Hi, everyone. Beth Barany here with How to Write the Future podcast. My focus is on helping specifically science fiction and fantasy writers. In that light, I talk about craft, the writing craft. So today I'm going to talk about tips on how to craft an awesome villain. Let's get started. You want to give your villain a goal, a reason for their goal, and conflict. Because guess what? Your villains are people too. In their own mind, what they're doing is reasonable. So give them a goal that is specific and active. Remember, a compelling villain isn't trying to be evil. They're actually trying to achieve something, and they can justify that. So first off, think of your villain's goal as a concrete verb phrase. They are there to seize or protect or punish, expose, restore, control, purify, stabilize. Also make their goal time-bound or urgent. In this way, it will create plot pressure. So perhaps your villain wants to seize property to protect their domain, or they want to stabilize the magic so that things don't go out of control into chaos. Legitimate. So when you think of your villain's goal, you want to think of it, explain it like this. Be able to say this or write this. My villain wants goal by method before deadline because otherwise consequences. Now, in addition to your villain's goal, they need a motivation. They feel like they're the hero of their own story. They have a good reason for wanting what they want. They don't wake up thinking, I'm the bad guy. No, they believe they're right. They believe they're justified. And usually, and this goes for every character that you assign a goal to in your story, their motivation has an emotional engine. It could be fear, it could be grief or entitlement, ideology, revenge, shame, love, devotion, or a hunger for order. See if you can design your villain's core belief that underpins their quest for their goal as a sentence they might even say out loud that they would defend in public. What would they say if they had to defend their goal? If you can write that in a convincing way, then the readers will feel the villain's logic, even while they disagree or even hate the villain. And that's okay. To make our villains compelling, we have to make them relatable. And we do that by hinting at or revealing their surface level motivation, but also their deep motivation for what they want. And in some writing craft explainer books, they will call this the want. The need is the goal and the want is the motivation. I found that a bit confusing. I think if you classify it as the motivation and keep asking why and go down deep to the core belief that often they stem from either childhood experiences or some amazing crisis turning point in their early life, in their teen life. Our core beliefs are changing and shifting all the time. Your character could also be motivated by a recent event as well that shaped why they want what they want. So here's the prompt. So write down for yourself, my villain believes X. They learned it when at some point in time. So now they must act a certain way. Let's move on to conflict. You want to design your villain's conflict as a mirror of the protagonist's goal. Conflict isn't just, oh, the hero fights the villain. Rah. No, you need a specific thing that blocks the villain's goal. And that is most often the protagonist's values, choices, or very existence. So a strong villain will also carry their internal conflicts. So they won't just have their external conflicts, usually represented by the protagonist, but they will also have internal conflicts. It will be blind spots or contradictions or even self-justifying stories they tell themselves. That can get in the way too. So you want to see if you can make your villain's strength a direct pressure point on the protagonist's weakness and vice versa. You want to make your protagonist's strength a direct pressure point on the villain's weakness. And then see if you can add one internal fault line or crack in the villain that makes their approach tragically inevitable, if you want to end the story with the protagonist being triumphant. Of course, if you're writing a tragedy where the antagonist succeeds over the protagonist, then that fault line could be inside of the protagonist. So here's the prompt. The hero blocks the villain because some value or action. The villain can't adapt because some blind spot. So the villain escalates by some action. So today we talked about the goal, motivation, and conflict of your villain. If you can define this clearly for yourself, now you have created a compelling villain. That's it for this week, everyone. Write long and prosper.